Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Champagne Wives podcast. I'm your host, Kelly.
And I'm your co-host, Nicole. Hey, Kel.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing good. And what's funny, I think we're probably kicking in at the same thing right now.
Know. The fact that it's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
And we sound like frogs.
And we do sound like frogs. So when I say I'm doing good, I'm really not doing good, but I'm pushing through. And
Yes.
it sucks that like on the first episode of season 4, after being gone for like 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm back with a frog in my throat.
Yeah. And I am too, but we're here doing what we do, pushing through. And we're going to get this bottle popped, hopefully without incident. We did it.
Well, that was quick.
Oh, wow. And it didn't even like overflow. Normally this brand overflows. So
awesome.
Well, okay. It's been a while. Like you said, 2 months.
2 whole months.
Give me the Cliff Notes version. How's it been? What have you been up to?
Well, it's been the holidays. So December, obviously there was Christmas and in January. Wait, when did we end though?
We ended like right before Thanksgiving.
Oh, so it's November, December. Like, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, like beginning of December, like right before
beginning of
Thanksgiving.
December.
Like, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, obviously December we had Christmas and I had a lot going on. I had family in town.
Yeah.
As you did as well.
Yeah.
So Christmas is always a stressful time of the year for me.
Yeah. Why?
Because I overspend. Like I overextend and I overspend. And last year, 2022 was a heavy year for me because I had like my big milestone birthday.
Yeah.
I did a lot of traveling last year. And I feel like Christmas was just literally the straw that broke the camel's back, child.
And you actually, the funny part is that you rode a camel as a part of this whole 2022 experience of yours.
Hello. I actually rode a camel in 2022. So I just felt like, that was just it. Cause there was just no breaks for me last year in terms of like my spending. So, hit a wall in January.
Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically, I didn't get into an accident, y'all.
Right.
Hit a wall, and I have just been laying low.
But now you have a plan.
You have my plan in place. I set my goals for the year, and I'm working that plan.
Oh my!
Did we cheers?
We did.
Okay, I'll take a sip.
We did. Yeah. I've been waiting for this sip literally all day.
Me too.
Just to coat the throat. Yeah, holidays was good. Or were good. Thanksgiving, cooked a lot. I'm like that person that cooks so much on Thanksgiving that like I don't even have an appetite by the time it's time to eat. Like I take 2 bites just to say I did it, and then I go to sleep for about 2 hours, and then I wake up and I like reheat my food. So Thanksgiving did that. We ate well. Kids loved Christmas. They said it was the best Christmas ever. So feel like we accomplished something there.
That's good.
And then New Year's was really low key. I literally had a bottle of Veuve and a bowl of popcorn, and it was perfect. It was perfect. A nice calm way to kind of ring in the New Year. So I felt like I started 2023 with like a lot of just intention on account of that. But overspent on myself and overspent on my kids and my family. So like you, have decided to just kind of calm down financially.
Yeah.
Like we're not buying new fits for every single podcast episode. We're shopping in our closet, as we coined it.
It's a thing. I saw somebody like talk about it, make a video about it on like social media.
It's a real thing.
It's a thing. Yeah, shopping in your closet. And let's just say, like, child, these are the Cliff Notes for our listeners. We literally saw each other throughout the entire break. We spent holidays together. You mentioned that you were home for New Year's Eve, and that's like the best place to be. I like to also be home for New Year's Eve. I actually ended up going out this year to be with family and then to meet up with some of my friends. But we have literally been together the entire time.
We're acting like we haven't seen each other in 2 months.
We're catching up our listeners.
Yes.
Not each other.
Well, now that you're caught up, and we're kicking off season 4.
Yes. I can't even believe that we're in season 4.
I know.
How did we get here?
How this happened? Like I feel like we just did Houseway. We just did like our year recap Like it feels like a month ago. And even to like put that together, it felt like it was 3 years worth of content that we had to like get into less than like a 1 minute soundbite. And
you're talking about the one with like the 60, like our year and like 60 photos.
Oh, well, there was that one. But then remember like the year anniversary, because I don't even think we were on
anniversary.
Yeah, we haven't even really recorded with our audience since what was it, December 3rd, which is the year birthday or anniversary of the Champagne Wives podcast. So remember we did that whole reel with Nicki Minaj and all that stuff. It was like, wow, it's a lot that happened in a year, almost 3 full seasons.
Yeah. And it's going by so fast.
So fast.
It is. It truly is going by fast. Which is why, you know, we decided to take a little bit of a longer break. I feel like this time because a lot's happening in like such a short period of time. That we just felt like it was best for us, for our mental, just to kind of like take the break, not rush back into the studio, to make sure that we were able to come back refreshed and like be our best selves for the sake of our podcast. And so I'm glad we did that.
I am too. And there's a lot to be said about, we always talk about pushing through. Hell, we started this episode talking about pushing through, but there is also, I'd say, so much more to be said about just recognizing when you need to take a fucking break and to listen to your mind, your heart, your body. And our bodies were telling us, y'all are tired. Our minds were telling our minds were telling us,
this is like, you're tired,
right? But our minds were telling us the same thing. And so it felt good to take a break. It felt good for us to take to like really take some time to focus on what we wanted this season to really be dedicated to. Last season, as we kind of talked about, we won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but we kind of got thrusted into the discussion around relationships. And I think that was a really great topic to discuss and to cover throughout the season. But as we said, there are more topics that we're really passionate about. So looking forward to being able to discuss those.
And that was heavy. And and that's also a big part of the reason why I feel like we had to take a longer break, a mental health break, because, you know, the topics that we did kind of find ourselves in were really controversial, to say the least. And receiving a lot of people's energies, people that we didn't know, some people that we did know, just kind of receiving a lot of the negative energy that I feel like we received based on like our own opinions and some of the things or the snippets that were put out there by ourselves and other people, which is a lot. So I had to like really dig deep to be like, who are you?
Right.
Who are you?
Wait, who are you or who are they?
No, who am I? Am I letting like what people's opinions of me are define me? And at the end of the day, the answer is obviously no.
Right.
But for a person who has lived for all intents and purposes, private life, very private life, you know, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't see how people do that shit. Like famous people, oh my God. Now I know what they mean.
Hats off like, to celebrities.
Yeah, they're like, you got to just get tough skin, like, and just not, you know, get down and like the fray and read the comments and like internalize what people are saying.
And I don't know how you do it. Like I don't know how they do it.
I don't know
like,
how to do it.
I don't know how the Kardashians have figured out how to like engineer this social.
They haven't. Khloe is having a mental break. She's a lot.
She is. I mean, we saw Kourtney go through it when she snapped, and then you know Kim's figuring it out. Maybe she's just emotionally detached. Who knows? But we're not wired that way.
No.
Right. So to be able to thankfully not be in the public eye like that, but to be able to remove ourselves, take the break that we need, go off the grid. And we weren't too off the grid, y'all, because y'all saw us on socials.
It's definitely you. I want to like, again, I know I've said this before, but I want to like tip my hat to you and like recognize you publicly, because you have done such a great job managing our socials. Because if it were up to me, baby,
account deactivated.
Done.
No activity.
Dry. Like, what do we say? Dry. Like, I don't know where she gets the fortitude to continue to like post and the creativity to come up with like different things and hop on different trends. But like, you have done an excellent job growing our following and just keeping our page very activated.
Don't make me cry, bitch.
Don't cry, bitch.
But I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know why. I do like it, but you know, we might have to outsource that at some
in the
point.
midst of your own shit that you have going on. Like, I'm like, I don't know how sis is doing it because I had to delete the app off my phone. Like,
she was like, just let me know what we posted.
Let me know what
Send me a screenshot.
Exactly, because account deactivated.
I know, and I do at times say I want to take a break from social. And I think I've gone through phases where I just don't even touch my personal page and I just stay focused on, the pod page. Yeah. And that in a way, like I don't even really scroll because we don't follow a whole bunch of people, thankfully. So there's not a whole lot to scroll. Mm-hmm. But it does serve a little bit as like therapy, a creative outlet.
I love that
so
for you.
it is
for me. I love that for us. I love that for us.
So 2023, we're here. Mm-hmm. But as you alluded to, 2022 put a lot of us through the ringer. Personally, it was probably the hardest year for me. Mm-hmm. And, we don't need to go into a whole bunch of detail around it today, but it was a year where, how it started and how it ended were two very different points that and not in any way, it didn't end in any way that I thought it was going to end, but it did. And I thought as I was preparing for this episode, I said, what are like the catchphrases? What are the mantras for you that you had in 2022 that you're carrying over into 2023? Like what lessons did you learn that are really important to make sure that you're carrying into this year? Yeah. And one that stands out for me is walk in faith, but not by fear.
I love that.
Because you never know what the hell God is going to throw at you.
And you can't control it. Yeah. You can't control your destiny.
You can't. So you literally just have to flow and you have to trust that, if you put good into this world, good will be returned back to you. So walking in faith and not in fear is one. And then being brave.
Yeah.
I know I had a catchphrase for it. It was, something about being brave versus being scared of things, which I think does connect back to walking in faith and not in fear. But bravery is a big thing for me because I am such like a planner when it comes to things that I envision for myself. Mm-hmm. And now that like all of that is for the most part changed, it's like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do? But again, leaning in, flowing a little bit more has me very excited for 2023 and what's to come, what the possibilities and the potential are for the year. Mm-hmm. Very excited about it.
That seems very very great, very surface. It does. It just sounds very surface, and I'm like, perfect. Okay, how can I get some meat and potatoes from this? But it's good. But
it's perfect.
It's true, and I agree with you. Mm-hmm. Not the path that I'm on right now. But I totally agree with you. Being brave, and I'm a control freak. You know this, and I like to.
I thought I was a control freak.
I am the biggest control freak, and I wish I could control everything. I try so hard, but it stresses me the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to just kind of step back and again, to your point, just kind of rely on fate and just letting things go. But I call that self-care. Mm-hmm. So for me, 2023 is just about self-care. So it's just about a lot about letting go of the things that I cannot control and not getting so disappointed when things don't go the way that I intended them to.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it also too is about learning how to love and be loved in the way in which, I want to be. And, last year I almost had a mental breakdown through that lunar season.
Eclipse season almost took her out.
Took me out. Like OWT. Girl, it almost took me out.
That was a whole...
But it was
hilarious.
There was a lot of self-awareness in that. I had to dig a really deep within to just kind of understand who I was, the things that kind of made me, the experiences, situations, whatever it is, experiences that made me who I was. And was I showing up as the best version of myself? Because I believe that the reason why I was kind of trying to control all the other situations is because I wasn't showing up as the best version of myself. So I was trying to show, like, you know, control other people's
have
actions.
That be, the optics.
Exactly. Instead of like working on me and doing the work on myself to show up as the best version of myself. And I thought I was, but you know, it takes a lot of self-discovery to realize that you ain't all crack. It ain't all crack what you think you are, girl. Like, you're not.
Bitch, you ain't shit. And that's a hard conversation to have with yourself. That's so hard.
Like, it's not like, and you know, you could be surface and be like, okay, I need to work on X, Y, and Z. But I think a lot of us, and again, you just go through life all these years and, you know, people just kind of learn, the people that are close to you just kind of learn how to deal with you. Yeah. Right. So you never really have to be accountable for your actions or how you show up or how you need to be better. But I'm telling you, when it's time for you to take a real hard look at yourself and just, you know, just try to figure out and discover some things about yourself. You just, it's a rude awakening.
It is. And that's that whole entire journey that you described. It's that becoming self-aware and then doing the work, right? The healing journey to accept who you are in the state that you're in, and then becoming committed to actually becoming that better version of yourself. Like, that is, I don't know, that's what life's about, right? That's like the best part of life in my mind. And it's ugly, it's uncomfortable, it puts you on your head. It has you questioning, who are you? Like, I remember I had someone very close to me. Has my collar been wrong all day? Oh no, it's been fine. You're fine. I had someone very close to me who was like kind of going through social and heard some of the things that I had said, and they were like, who are you? Like, that doesn't even, like, who are you? And I had to explain, you got to understand, it's a 30-second snippet, but like there was a 45-minute broader conversation on a topic. But what you see is what you perceive, and your perception is your reality. In the world of social media, that's why I always say, what friends? Don't believe everything you see on social media. But still, you believe it, and it has people asking you, who are you? And people who are close to you. So like, I internalized it. I was like, well, who am I? I mean, I thought I was Nicole. I thought I was the mother of 2 kids, you know, and an HR professional and a podcaster and an entrepreneur. And I was like listing all the things, but that's not even what the question was. The question was, who are you? Like, what do you value? What's beliefs, important to you? What do you believe? And I started to have those really disgusting conversations with myself. I mean, but it's tough. It is true. It is true. You know, like, I things to the point where it was like, okay, you love nice things. You really like nice things, but like, do those things really define you? And have you been walking in a space where maybe you've been allowing those things to define you? Using that as an example, there were obviously other conversations, but you know, I it's why it was important for me to stay inside on New Year's and set the tone for what I want for 2023. And for me, it's going to be more self-care. It's going to be more healing. It's going to be more self-awareness. It's going to be about being gentle and careful with myself. It's going to be about showing up as a better friend and being more present. Because, you know, sometimes we're moving so fast that like you're focused on what we need to get done and not necessarily the how. So the how, I want to focus more on that in 2023, and just have a good time. Like, I want to like go away. Like, I want to do more solo trips. Like, I know that's a thing right now. Like, soft girls are taking solo trips. Like, I want to do that and go to like be in nature. Like, I really want to be in Utah. I want to like go, I don't want to climb rocks, but I want to like go to national parks in Utah because those look amazing. I want to go see the sequoias.
All of this is solo.
I mean, you can come to come right. But I want to be in nature. Like, I want to be in nature, and I know I literally become alive when I'm in nature. If I'm at beach, forest, whatever. If we go camping, we're gonna go glamping. I did find an amazing glamping place in Utah. Nice. So like things like that, I absolutely want to do with my girlfriends. Like, I want to do with my kids. I want to do by myself. But we just got to get our funds right, child.
Because 2022 almost took us out.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Like, for me, it's about showing up in my relationships the way I feel like I show up for like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that like I know what I want. I know what I like. Mm-hmm. I try to give myself those things. And I also try to like have other people around me kind of experience and kind of feed into some of the things that I want to do. Like, for example, like celebrating my birthday.
Y'all. I don't even know how we're supposed to vacation after that. I haven't gone on one because I'm like, I don't know how to top that.
Well, it was very nice. But I also want to be able to give some of that energy or the same energy to like the people around me or the people that I love. And I have a tendency, like, if you don't ask me for it or tell me to do it, I just fall back because I don't have the mental capacity or the energy to give you. Or that sounds horrible, but it's just, but it's true. Like,
you got to name it first. You got to call the thing a thing.
Name it and claim it. I don't have the mental energy. Sometimes I just get into the space of being lazy to be able to exert that level of energy for people outside of myself. I obviously, I do the same for my kids, myself, but being able to show up in that way for the other people that I love is a part of like my journey of growing and being a better person, being a better friend, a better spouse, a better daughter, a better sister, friend, all those things.
So many roles,
Huh?
So many roles.
Exactly. And it's just, and how I make space for the other things is, again, to release some of the control. I don't have to be so regimented and rigid, like with my schedule if things don't go my way, so that's been hard for me because obviously I'm girl Virgo. I like to control what I can control. I don't like to be surprised. But in order for me, I feel like to be able to show up how I want to show up, love and be loved the way that I want to, then, certain things that I'm just going to have to let go. We always talk about it. Like, you're never too old to learn more or grow more. Yeah. Right.
1,000% agree.
And I, this is just one step, 5-10 years from now, my focus may be different. Our focus may be different.
Yeah.
But I think for the both of us, what is known to be true is that we're always on some type of like self-discovery. And we'll talk about it more this season.
Yeah.
After last year, it was just such an emotionally heavy year, not only in our personal lives, but, just with the podcast and just some of the animosity that was coming towards us, our way, from people that we didn't know, some people that we did know. Right. This year, I think it's really just all about obviously being yourself, because I am not, trying to be or live my life based off of, what other people say or think or feel about me.
Right, of course.
But I also want to show up in the best light. And so this season, a goal of mine, I think ours, is to be and show positivity in the best way that we can. So we're going to still talk about some of the things that we've talked about in past seasons. Yeah. Obviously,
we know y'all love the relationship topics.
Love the relationship topics. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all those things. But I think the overarching theme this season is just being peaceful.
Being peaceful.
Yeah.
And
being present.
Really being.
We want to bring y'all peace.
Well, I mean,
and informative. Child.
Yeah, we want to be informative. We're going to have guests, and let me just say this. Yeah. I mean, y'all have now been with us for 3 seasons, 4 seasons. You're now that you're embarking on. You've heard us talk. You've seen us. We have a good fucking time. We laugh.
Yeah.
Like, we laugh at each other. We laugh at ourselves. We take ourselves seriously, but in all this, we don't take ourselves that seriously. And we want to show more of that.
Yeah.
Because that's more authentic to who we are. And so the goal right now, I think, for this season is, like you said, it's peace. It's a little bit more harmony, but it's authenticity. It's positivity. and it's honesty. And so that's directionally where we want to go. And there are a lot of great platforms out there. And honestly, you can listen to them as well. There are a lot of great platforms where people are talking about relationships, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But our goal is to talk about relationships in the context of friendships, relationships in the context of, the relationship you have with your boss or relationships you had with childhood friends and things like that. It's not just going to be about romantic relationships. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got opinions on those. Yeah, you'll hear about them. But that's not really going to be the focus. We're not going to go down that path again because there are plenty of other creators out there that are doing that and doing that well. I'm sure you're already listening and or watching.
I'm sure you are. There's plenty.
Yeah.
And when we first started this journey, albeit a year ago,
mm-hmm. eons ago,
like
it feels like
years ago, which it feels like we were just at different places in our lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just been really exciting and kind of amazing to see just the journey mm-hmm. and all the things that has happened and has transpired in both of our lives mm-hmm. since then. So to your point, I do want to provide authenticity to our podcast and our mm-hmm. listeners. Obviously, we want to show who we are truly.
Yeah.
But within the, boundaries of what we know, right? What we're experiencing, right. What we have experienced.
Yeah.
And to your point, we are multifaceted, mm-hmm. right? We're friends, sisters, daughters. We're, employees. We're entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And so we like to kind of expand, our reach to all of those different areas.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing in on just the relationships. And I know that the podcast is called Champagne Wives Podcast. Mm-hmm. And we will continue to do that because we're talking to the wives, we're talking to the aspiring wives mm-hmm. or the ex-wives, whatever mm-hmm. you want to call yourself.
Right.
We'll continue to, represent, that piece of our brands. But, we also want to explore the different areas
right.
in which, we, have in our lives.
Yeah, and that we value. I mean, that's one role. That's one role, yeah. And we're not defined by that. And that's, I think, what attracts people and you all to this space is that, it's about how do you juggle it all. And so if we spend too much time in one space, it really doesn't feel on brand for us. So. Yep. Looking forward to being able to talk more about the other areas, and hopefully you all will stick around for the ride and more of you will join. Before we got here, we were just under 9,000 on our followers. So y'all tell a friend to tell a friend because we got a lot in store for you in season 4. A lot of guests that we're looking to bring on. We were so excited to be able to have Tamara on last season. Yeah. And I don't think any of us sitting in the room that day thought it was going to be as electrifying and exciting and hilarious as a conversation as it was.
I like that word.
But we want to have more experiences like that. And we want to share more of those experiences with you. So looking forward to getting more guests on who will talk about healing, who will talk about entrepreneurship, who will talk about careers, who will talk about health, and hopefully get you guys in a better place with any one of those particular categories, or at least educate you a little bit more on any of those other categories. So yeah, it should be a fun season.
It should be a great season. I am looking forward to it. I've been so excited to get back. I'm not going to say excited because that's not true. Because
she hasn't been.
I haven't.
I mean, we're going to be authentic. Let's be authentic.
Let's be authentic, y'all. I have to stop myself. I have not been, but getting here, I felt the excitement. Today.
Yay.
But leading up to it,
yeah,
I was just like, I just don't know if I'm ready. I don't know, the direction. Obviously, we did our planning session like we always do, and we did all the things to get ready for the season, but just the level of just excitement wasn't there for me because, again, last season, it was just a lot.
Right.
We are switching gears.
Yeah. And it was are we walking into the same shit, different day?
We're switching gears this season, which I'm totally excited about it. And obviously being here and getting ready, sitting in this chair, like my excitement is back up. I still feel a high level of passion for this. It's still my passion project. I still love, what we're doing, and I love to, still love being on this journey with you. But it was a lot. But to my point, my earring keeps falling. God damn. But see what I'm talking about? I can't control this. It's okay.
You can't. You're going with the flow, and I love this for you.
I'm just going with the flow.
I love this new Kelly.
I'm trying to.
I woke up this morning and was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen today.
Right.
I just don't know. I don't know if this podcast thing is gonna happen today. And I mean, that was the real truth. Last night I had a shitty sleep. My son came down.
Oh, me too.
It was bad. My son came down and was like, Mommy, I had a nightmare. It was only 8:30. What nightmare you had in the first 15 minutes of your night?
Well, I tossed and turned all night because I was thinking about. I watched that video of the guy.
Oh God.
Yes, I don't know why I did that. If you haven't watched it yet, don't watch it because I was traumatized all night. Y'all know this about me. I have high level anxiety. And
you're a huge empathetic. You're a huge empathetic.
Huge empathetic. Yes, huge empathetic. But it stresses me out and it gives me anxiety to no end.
It was a bad video.
I was just scrolling on like social media platforms, Twitter, and this video is just
everywhere.
It's everywhere. Like it kept showing up in my feed. So I was just like, well, let me see.
Yeah.
I still didn't have all of the information. And so I made the mistake of like watching the video, and all I kept seeing all night was like these officers like hitting and kicking this human being, and it just kept me up all night.
Yeah. I saw the interview with his mother and father and Don Lemon. And the mother said three things that really stood out to me. The first was, he was a mama's boy.
Yeah.
He loved his mother, like had her name tattooed on his arm. 150 pounds soaking wet, like had an illness that prevented him from being able to gain any meaningful weight for his height. I think he was 6'3".
Yeah.
And she said, for him to be within 100 feet of my house and for him to call my name and me not be able to do anything about it. Like, she's like, I will never be the same.
Like,
never be the same. And I can't even imagine. Like,
as a mom, 2 black boys. Like,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. That's difficult.
The level of helplessness that you feel, and that you will always feel.
Yeah.
And then she had also said that, the cops who did this, we know all 5 of them were black. And obviously the man who was murdered was black. She said, just think about what you've done for the black community. Think about the imprint and the stain this is going to have on the black community. Think about the imprint and the stain that this is going to have on your family.
Yeah. Because if they have kids, if they have family, they have to like deal with like the stigma of being related to people that did this.
Right.
So yeah, but all of that, I didn't want to take like this morbid turn, but that has been keeping me up.
That's been on your mind.
That kept me up last night. So again, I'm fuming off of like a few hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I obviously had to get up this morning and go
work out,
get the kids ready for school, all those things. But we made it here, and so my point. I'm very excited to be back in this chair.
I am too. So looking forward, I mean, we're not going to drag it out because, listen, it's the first episode, and I feel like we've talked about everything that we wanted to talk about. So first,
big things this season. I mean,
huge.
We're excited. We are continuing to build our brands. We started last season, or not started, but ended last season with a partnership with Diet Coke. So we are looking to expand on those opportunities, and just for the people who have been with us from the beginning, who have been following us and supporting us, we really appreciate it. But we have some really great things coming, for you all outside of just the podcast.
Yeah, outside of the podcast. And one of the things that I just realized that I wanted to say that I didn't say, that I'm hopeful that the real ones get. We're not talking about relationships like extensively like we did last season. We've covered that. But for those that are looking for relationship talk, and if you feel like, oh my God, they're not going to talk about it extensively, they're not like, we're going to go somewhere else. I just want to say, at the end of the day, if you do want to be in a relationship, most men actually want a well-rounded, multifaceted, multidimensional woman. Okay. So if you are looking for opportunities to learn how to do that, this is still probably the place for you. So wanted to say that. It was on my mind.
That's a good point. Yes, that is like the context to what I said. This Champagne Wives is for people who, Champagne Wives podcast are people who are wives, who are aspiring to be wives, or ex-wives.
Yeah.
We have them all covered.
That's it.
We have it all covered. We got y'all.
So where can people find us, Kels?
Oh,
we switched it. Okay.
Oh, you switched gears?
Where can people find?
No, we did not. Wait. Okay, y'all. You're like, let's 35 minutes, y'all. Okay. Okay.
I'm Father Time right now.
Role reversal. You're like in the role reversal. You're like truly efficient right now. You're like, that's my role. My role is to stop the conversation.
I know.
And end this. But yes, you guys can find us on IG at Champagne Wives Podcast. We're also on TikTok, and we're still continuing to build. The TikTok has not been a priority like IG, but on TikTok for
Champagne Wives _podcast.
Okay, so underscore there. And then YouTube. Obviously Champagne Wives at Gmail if you guys want to email us your questions or inquiries. And then we're on YouTube too at Champagne Wives Podcast.
Yes. And YouTube's kind of been a little dormant just because we haven't been in studio, but we back. So get ready for those shorts. Get ready for those episode uploads. We drop episodes on Thursday. So if you're listening and it's a Thursday, you get it. We drop the videos on Friday. So if you prefer visual, which we understand. YouTube is available every Friday. So, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to sign off and we will see you guys next week. Same time.
Same place, same station. Bye.
Cheers, love.